Hello, my name is Christian from Global Reach, and today we're talking about custom reports on Google Analytics 4. So, as of May 2024, there are 7 different types of custom reports to choose from. They range from pretty simple to a little more complex. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to briefly introduce each one of these reports. We're going to show you how to configure them, and hopefully from there you can decide whether or not these reports are going to be beneficial for you or your organization. So let's go ahead and jump into the Google Analytics 4 interface and start talking about the specifics of these reports. Okay, so welcome to the homepage of Google Analytics 4. Your homepage should look roughly similar to this, bar a couple of changes if you are watching this in the future. But to find the custom report section, you want to go to the left-hand navigation and click on Explore. And then down here, you'll have a bunch of different items to look at. These pre-built reports here are reports that Google have built for you, and these are also the 7 types of reports that are available. The first report I'll talk about is the freeform report, and what we have here is we have templates that were built out by Google. Well, what I'm going to do for freeform is I'm going to create a blank report and show you how to start from there. So the freeform report is going to be pretty applicable to almost every organization out there. That's just because the freeform report can almost answer any question you may have that's related to the web analytics area. It basically lets you import any dimension or metric that you want, and it lets you throw it into a graph and help you answer the questions that you have. So you'll see here on the left-hand side, you have segments, dimensions, and metrics. Segments are going to be types of or groups of users that fit 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 or more characteristics. But we're not going to touch that yet. Segments are going to be its own dedicated report, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. And down here we have dimensions and metrics. So dimensions are going to be more category based. So a page name, a device category, a city, things like those are dimensions. And down here we have metrics. Metrics are going to be more value based. So engagement rates, sessions, engaged sessions, things like that are metrics. So let's say I want to make a report that looks at the number of engagements by page title. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import the page title, which is a dimension. So I'm going to go down here and click plus next to dimensions, and I'm going to bring in page titles. And I'm going to import that, and it appears over here. And down here, I'm going to import my metrics. My metrics are going to be, we're going to do sessions. And we're also going to do engaged sessions, and then I'm also going to throw in a bonus metric here. I'm going to do engagement rate. And I'm going to import all 3 of these metrics here. And now we have our necessary features imported, and it really is just a plug and play situation now. For dimensions, it can go into either one of the color-coded boxes here. So as you can see, it is green. So it can go into either one of the green sections here. It could go into the rows or the columns. I'm going to slot it right into rows just because I feel like that looks a little bit better. And then down here in values, I'm going to bring in the 3 metrics that I have. So I'm going to bring in sessions, I'm going to bring in engaged sessions, and then I'm going to bring in engagement rate. So these are the 3 metrics we have. Keep in mind that these are going to be your base reports. And you can do a lot more with this. You could change the date range up here. You could change the types of graphs you have. You can make a scatter plot instead of a table. It really depends how you want to structure it and what questions you have. But generally speaking, that is how you start a free-form report. All right, next up here, let's talk about funnel explorations here. So Google has created a bunch of templates here, and I'm going to recommend that you actually start with those templates and build off of that, because that may be a little more simple than creating it from the ground up. So let's go ahead and click on funnel exploration here, and let's see what Google has built for us. So funnel explorations basically help you understand how people are going toward a goal on your website. So let's say you have a goal on your website. Let's say it's a purchase or a submission form or something like that. The funnels basically help you figure out how a user gets there or how many users in a particular area get there. So as you can see here, the default report that Google has built, it was not super helpful for our website because our website does not have any sort of purchase functionality. It just assumes that we have one, which is incorrect. It also creates a bunch of segments here that we're not going to use just yet. So what I'm going to do is edit the steps here and make the funnel more suited to my website and my needs. But before that, a couple things to know is that you can also edit the date range up here, and you can make sure that your funnel is open or closed depending on what you want here. So you can toggle this to make it an open funnel, and you can close this or turn this off to make it a closed funnel. Just to explain the difference here, an open funnel means that a user can join the path at any point in time. So if a user makes a purchase over here without completing one of these steps, they will be included in the funnel because it is an open funnel, meaning they can join at any point in the process. A closed funnel means that a user has to join in step 1 and they have to end at the last step. So most cases, a closed funnel is going to be more intuitive and more useful to what you're trying to find, but the open funnel option is there if you need it. So now I'm going to edit this, this part here, and I'm going to go to steps and edit it with the icon here. And I have 4 steps over here. I don't really need 4 steps, so I'm going to do away with the middle 2 steps. So I'm going to go down here to the 3 dots and click on remove step and remove step. And then over here, I'm going to make sure that my name here is changed. So it won't be purchase anymore. It's going to be contact. And we're going to change it from purchase, and we're going to do events, and we're going to do contact us. And up here, I want to look at how many people have come to contact us after visiting our homepage. So I'm going to call this event up here called homepage visit. And I'm going to define the homepage. So the homepage, I'm going to define it by title. So I'm going to click on this and type in page title. I'm going to put in page title. And for the filter, I'm going to make sure that it contains, and I'm going to let it populate here and let it be my homepage here. So I would recommend having contains here and not exactly matches, just because contains may just include data that may not have been included otherwise. So I'm going to click apply here, and now I have my homepage visit in step 1, and step 2 is my contact event. So I'm going to click apply, and here we now have our funnel exploration. So we have the number of people who have gone from our homepage down to contact. As you can see that we have 100% of our users going to our homepage in this funnel, and we have only 2.9% of those people actually making it through and contacting us. So obviously there are more layers you can add here and more information I can uncover, but at a basic level, this is how you use the funnel report feature. Third report, let's talk about path exploration here. So path exploration, I'm going to click on the Google built report here and talk about it a little bit. So path exploration basically lets you look at branches of activity on your website and how one activity leads to another. So this is a 3-step path over here. I'm going to reduce this down to just something simple like a 1-stage path just to show you what this report can actually be used for. This is most useful if you're trying to look at navigation and how intuitive your navigation is. So I'm going to go down here to event name, and I'm going to change this to page title and screen class. And over here, we can basically see after a user has started a session on our website, this basically shows the divide of users that have gone to different pages on the website. So if I include 15 more down here, I can further see how users are split into different segments of the website. Obviously, there are more areas you can look at beyond just page titles and stuff like that, but the page titles are going to be a very intuitive way to break this down and look at it, and it's a very common use for the path exploration report. I'd say this is going to be very useful if you're looking to make changes to your website or looking to make changes to your navigation, but generally speaking, that is how you would use the page exploration report. And I would recommend using the Google built template to start and then working your way up from there. All right, now we're going to look at segment overlap. So segments are basically, like I explained earlier, they're groups of customers who meet a specific criteria. And we're going to look at how those segments overlap and how they are separated. So let's take a look at the report here. I'm going to use the pre-built Google template, and we're going to move from there and see how it goes. So as you can see here, Google has created a report here already. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out all of these metrics here. I'm going to build one from scratch just to show you how it works. Okay, so now that we have fully emptied out the segment report here, or the segment overlap report, I'm going to go and start making segments because this is what it's used for. So I'm going to go to the segments section over here, and I'm going to create a brand new segment. So you have different types of segments you can make. I'm going to do user segment because users are typically the most segmented group or segmented type of metric here. So I'm going to click on user segment, and I'm going to go and make a segment called European users. Let's create a segment of people who have visited our website while they were in Europe or while they're based in Europe. So let's go and add a new condition here. And Google Analytics actually has a category or a feature called continent. So we're able to just easily filter this down by continent and add filter contains. And we're just going to do Europe and apply it. And this is now our European segment. And I'm going to make another segment here, and we're going to call this something simple like mobile users. And again, Google Analytics does keep track of the device used if possible. So I'm going to type in device category, and we're going to go to contains, and we're going to do mobile. And we're going to save this and apply it. And this is our two segments here. And as you can see, once we build our two segments, we can see the intersect here and the separation. We have this number of European users only, we have this number of mobile users only, and we have this number of intersecting users here. And it also gives you a breakdown of count pretty explicitly down here. So obviously, you can comb deeper than this. This is a very basic example, but that is how you would typically use the segment overlap report. Now we're moving on to the User Explorer report. This is where many organizations may not find value with it, but let's talk about the User Explorer report. Once again, I'm going to use the Google built template here. And what this report does is it basically takes your users and assigns a unique ID to each one of your users. So you can see here that each one of our users have a unique ID. And we have a bunch of metrics that we're keeping track of. So we can see here that this user in particular down here had 117 events on the website and had 9 key events while they were on the website, or in total. Same thing here with the user below, 116 events and 3 key events. So this basically breaks it down by individual users, and it gives you reports there. This may not be super applicable for a lot of organizations, but if you're in a case where you want to break down your users by unique IDs, you can absolutely do that using the User Explorer report. All identities and information like that is kept private, obviously. This is just a very arbitrary identification number. So if this is a report that you may find value in, this is something that you can use. Right, next up, let's talk about cohort exploration. So cohort exploration is going to be important, specifically if retaining audiences or bringing people back to your website is a good thing. So let's click on the cohort exploration report and let's interpret the report that Google has created for us over here. So Google has created this report here, and what it basically shows us is it basically shows us the number of people that have come to the website in a particular week, and it shows you how many users have returned for each subsequent week. So over here in week 0, so the very first week, we have 4,927 visitors. In the next week, of that 4,927 people, we only had 48 people coming. In the week after that, we only had 10 people. The week after that, we had 5. And the week after that, we had 0. So like I said earlier, if user retention or returning users is a big factor in your website, this may be a good report for you to look at. You can also look at the returning users metric on Google Analytics 4. That may also be an option for you to look at. So that is how you use the cohort explanation report. And moving on to the last one here, the user lifetime report. Let's click on it and talk about it here. One thing to preface here is that if you are not an e-commerce based website, you probably won't get a ton of value from the user lifetime report. So what this does is Google has created this report. You could obviously change this around, but what Google has created here is the medium a user has came from, so organic traffic or referral traffic, cost per click traffic or email signature traffic, and it basically breaks it down by the average engagement per medium, the lifetime value of that customer, so how much value you can get from that customer, and the amount of transactions on average you get from each medium. Again, if you don't have e-commerce on your website, you may want to focus on other sorts of metrics than just purchases and revenue. You may want to focus on engagement or some other metric like that. But generally speaking, the lifetime value metric assigns values or average values to customers who come from a specific medium. So that is how you would use the lifetime value chart if that's something that your organization finds a value in. Okay, so in this video we touched upon the 7 types of customer reports that Google Analytics 4 has to offer. Hopefully after this video you're able to understand and know which reports are going to be beneficial for you and which reports may not be super beneficial for you. So thanks a ton for watching, and feel free to check out any of the other tutorials on our website or our YouTube channel.